Alright. Yo, what's up, everybody? I go by the name Hookage, or Hokage, whichever one you prefer. So, just to get into the actual, like my actual stage name, I got it from the anime Naruto, which is my top three anime of all time. It's debatable, but not to me. Anyway, so the name basically means it's like a title, the same title that you give a doctor, you know, things of that nature, president, whatever. So Hokage in the anime itself, um, to put it plainly, is like the clan leader or the village leader. So that's, I guess that kind of it resonated a lot with me. So because of that, I chose to take the name, the that title, and I just added an extra O to it because of copyright reasons. So whenever people ask me in public, Jorge, how how do you pronounce your stage name, this, that, and the third, I always just tell people whatever you prefer, you can go by. Either you can call me Hookage or you can call me Hokage. Um, but yeah, outside of my stage name, I started making music roughly 7 to 8 years ago, just as a hobby, just for fun, because my cousins were doing it. Because they used to be a part of a group called Trevor. So him and his boys, they were going crazy. I was like, okay, I have to do it. I thought I could rap at the time. Nah, it's shy. So that's why I ended up staying with, or like sticking to producing. And then eventually, as time went on, I kind of I found whether this is my calling, to put it plain. Okay, so in my opinion, I think collaboration is a very important aspect of creating in general. Whether you're creating art, like physical art, or whether you're doing what I do, which is make music, or your videography. Just any art form, I feel like collaboration is important because in my 7 to 8 years being a musician, it taught or it made me come to the realization that you can't really do everything by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's impossible for you to do everything. And this came even more apparent to me in 2023 when I met up with Banzai, Lucas Chubbs, Space Rover in BC. And then we created our collective Ascension Please. Before it became an official thing, the way that we like meshed together, we brought out the best in each other because we have specific skills that the other person doesn't. But as a group, it it uplifts all of us at the same time. So I think for me personally, that was the perfect example that I can use to explain why collaboration is important. And then even outside of AP, I can use the examples of like my close friend Boris, my cousin Eli Doja, my close collaborators in South Africa. It's like I was able to get to the point that I'm at currently because of the people that I worked with. For the first 3 to 4 years of my career, I was doing everything by myself and nothing ever happened. So yeah, for me personally, I feel like collaboration is a very integral part of creating. Mm. I think the song that resonated to me the most, or with me the most rather, was "Bleeding," the first song in the project. And I think the reason why I say that is because of the process it took. It wasn't like okay, I got this guitarist to come play this, and then I called the rapper to come do this, and then it turned into the song that it is right now. But the just the overall process, for example, what happened was I bumped into, because the original song is called Bleeding by Malum Carly, who goes by Caffeine Brownie. At the time, I think OKWC had reposted the song on their story or something. I was like, yo, this song is crazy. And at the time, there was no drums, there was no additional vocals. It was just him playing the guitar and the bass and singing. I was like, this is hard. So I hit him up. I was like, yo, I want to do something. Like, I feel like we can build onto this. He was like, okay, sure. Then he sent me the project files. And then once I got the project files, I worked on this song for close to 2 years, where I kept on making revisions of what I wanted it to sound like. Do I want it to be a fast-paced song? Do I want it to be a slow-paced song? Do I want it to be at this specific page? So I was basically just going back and forth with my ideas. So within me going back and forth with the direction that I wanted the track to go in, I the first time around I got Banzai to record vocals in one of our sessions. Like we were doing a session for his project, and I was like, "Yo, can I have this song that I don't know what to do with? Can you just try add vocals onto it?" And then he tried to do something, but it didn't really work out. So what I ended up doing with those first round of vocals was turning them into the background vocals that you hear once the beat drops. Because yeah, and then another session, I was like, "Yo, dog, I need you to lay vocals on this song because you are the perfect fit for this." Especially given the context of the album and the song in itself. So because of that, I was like, okay, dog. He was going through some situation. I was like, ah, I'm not sure. And then I was like, yo, dog, can I use a song? Record to it. Let me know what you think. He recorded that song in one night. And then from that point onwards, I was like, okay, this is the song. And then closer to the day when I wanted to drop the project, I got Space Rover to lay background vocals for the first half of the song, and then yeah, that was it. Okay, so in terms of how I prepare for a set and things of that nature, I think the best way for me to explain it is that I usually gauge the type of event that I'm going to be playing. So, for example, if I use On the House as an example, the the premise of the entire event is house music. So what the event organizer does is she creates a theme for specific events. For example, the last On the House event that I DJ'd at, the theme was old school house music. So given my background in DJing and the fact that I learned how to DJ with old school house music, it was kind of easy for me to know what I'm going to be playing because a lot of the music that I normally play, people either don't know or they choose not to because of the niche aspect of it, you know. So that's what I mean by it really just depends on the nature of the event. If I'm gonna be DJing at a trap or a hip hop event, I usually just play what I like because most of the time when you look at the audience that attends these hip hop slash trap events, people aren't really there to listen to music. Unfortunately, they're there to have fun. So I usually get put in a position where it's like, okay, I'm not starting the event, but I'm like, I'm the one that's kind of gonna try and keep the crowd at that same energy. So the type of music that I play is in between chill, but can also be like turned up, high energy type music. So I think, like, just to go back to my original point, it's heavily dependent on the nature of the event and the people who are going to be attending the event. Yeah. Okay, so what music am I listening to? I think this past year has been a very interesting year for me in terms of the music that I'm listening to. I think, well, I mean, that happens every year, but this year more so because I've been listening to a lot of trap music, South African trap music to be specific. I don't know why, I've just been in there. I've just been enjoying the aggression in terms of the production, like the 808s, the simplicity in the drums, But predominantly, the music that I listen to right now is stuff like what's playing in the background right now. American duo, neo soul duo called 320. They make like nostalgic neo soul, alternative R&B type stuff. And then I think there's artists like Liv E or Liv, so Liv.E. She makes almost exclusively alternative neo soul, where it's like it's either she's rapping or she's singing over heavily sampled instrumentals. She makes completely abstract music, which is what I appreciate because, in as much as I was saying I enjoy the simplicity of trap music, I can also appreciate the complexity of experimental artists. And then I think just to name the projects, I would say, actually, I can't name the project. I can name the artist though. So, like I was saying, it would be Live E, it would be 320, it would be 9 days, it would be Jean Doe. I think that's what I'm saying. How John A. Onomu, JeanDeudeux, and then Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so this is kind of a tough one because there's a lot to choose from. But if we're talking film, live action films, I would say I'm not gonna rank them for which one is where, but it would be Interstellar. It would be Pulp Fiction. I mean, sorry, not Pulp Fiction. Django Unchained, and then it would be Inception. Those are my top three films. I can. Yeah. Okay, so my art. I think how I want people to, or how I want the next generation of artists to receive me and my music is as a way to say what, especially as producers in Botswana, we're used to a certain type of genre of music that is glamorized in Botswana. Not to say there's anything wrong with it, but one of my gripes as a musician in Botswana is to see how the large audience of Gaborone, let me speak for Gaborone because I'm not too sure about the entire country. But I think like I was saying, my main gripe is that majority of the audience in the city don't appreciate the nuances and they don't appreciate the same things that I would appreciate as somebody that loves music. But to relate this to the original question, for artists and musicians in the future, I would want them to look at my art as a way of breaking the chains of the industry, or even if you're just a producer, or even if you're this, or even if you're that, you can still do whatever you want, and it can still work out for you quite well, actually. And I think more than anything, I want people, or more specifically, I want artists to look at the work that I've done personally and collectively. I want them to look at it as I want future artists, Mobuzana, to look at my work as a stepping stone. I know a lot of people wouldn't really say or want to say that, but I want artists in the future to look at my work as a stepping stone for them to be like, okay, it's possible. It's possible for you to chase this dream of being a musician. You know. So, out of my beautiful dark twisted fantasy, the college dropout, and the graduation, I think arguably, okay, let me just say for me personally, number one is college dropout. He's never gonna top that album, unfortunately, for me personally. College dropout is number one. Graduation is number two. My beautiful dark twisted fantasy is number three. Um, yeah. Okay, so in terms of dream collaborations, I think there's a lot. There's a lot, but there also isn't that many at the same time. I think it's mainly because like as time went on in the industry, I've gotten to realize what you don't have to work with everybody, but of those people that I really want to work with would be first of all Tyler the Creator, Solange, uh, RIP, but I would have loved to work with Mac Miller, obviously Kendrick Lamar, and then if we bring it locally to the SADC region, I would love to work with Marcus Harvey, a producer in South Africa called Fiji Mageba, um, Blackie, Aries, um, and I think I've forgotten this artist's name now, but they're from Europe. They make similar type of music as Bo Marcus Harvey, the alternative neo soul type situation. And then that's just artists. I only named two producers. And then in terms of dream collaborations from a producer standpoint, I want to work with Julian Gomez. I want to work with Ed Jazz, Kid Funk, um, for like the house aspect of it. I want to work with Match Beats. And what if we're looking like internationally? I would like to work with. I used to really, really want to work with Metro Boomin, but not so much anymore. But one person that I hate the fact that people stop talking about is Pierre Bourne. Pierre Bourne he's the nigga who produced Magnolia for Playboy Cardi. He's like an artist and producer, but yeah, yeah, that's been my dream collaboration for the past my entire career basically. He's like the number one person. Like my younger self. If I get to work with that nigga one day, I know like I would know what I made it now. So